Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Leanne and I enjoy sharing budget-friendly, easy DIYs with you. And today we're going to be making some fun Christmas ornaments. So let's get straight to it. All right guys, so for this first DIY, we're going to use this wooden snake. This is from the Dollar Tree. We're using Dollar Tree items today for these simple budget-friendly DIY Christmas ornaments. And this is it's a craft or square item, but you might sometimes find it in the kids area because I feel like sometimes employees don't know where to put it and they put it in the wrong spot. But we're gonna just cut off the tail and then figure out where we want it to make basically a complete circle, and then cut it at that point as well. It's just like a piece of plastic that's kind of woven in the center that's holding it, so it's not super hard to cut. And then I'm gonna use some Gorilla wood glue or Gorilla household glue or whatever that was called. It's just, I don't know. I don't have a rhyme or reason always to what glue I'm using. Sometimes I use, I don't know, I have two different wood glues. Anyways, I use that as well as some hot glue. And then I'm just holding it together with a clamp while it sets. Made sure I peeled off any glue that had like kind of oozed out there. And then I'm using this paint. This is actually mixed with chalk or with baking soda, which is not necessary. But it was some that I had mixed together with Waverly chalk paint in the color Fern for another DIY video. And I mixed up way too much of it. So you don't need to use chalk paint for this, or I'm sorry, you don't need to use baking soda in your paint for this. It's really not necessary. It's just what I was using because I had it left over. And I just kind of held up my little wreath in the clamp so that it made it easier to paint it. Worked out really well, and then I just had to paint that one little spot once the rest of it was dry where the clamp was, but I was able to paint a lot more of it this way. So I gave it a good coat of paint, and I wanted the ridges to still be seen, so I just kind of went with a piece of, this was, I don't know, trash from my crafting supplies, piece of plastic, and kind of just wiped in between each of those to get the paint out so that it would not clump up there, because I wanted to see all of those little openings. And then once that's dry, we're going to go in and decorate it. So I have this little glitter, I think it's called vase filler. It's from the Dollar Tree, but I'm sure you can get it from other craft stores or Walmart or something similar. And I'm just hot gluing them on. Use your glue of choice. Hot glue is tough when using small little things like this because it's definitely easier to burn your fingers. But yeah, we're just going to glue those all around, making ourselves little berries. You could, of course, decorate this however you wanted. And then I'm going to take a piece of twine. I'm going to burn off, don't burn your fingers, just burn off the little fuzzies on the twine. Or you can use a ribbon, whatever you want. And I'm going to use that for our little hanger. I am hot gluing it just a little bit because I didn't want the wreath to kind of like spin on this hook holder thing, if that makes sense. And then just tying a knot at the top. And then of course I wanted to add a little bow onto our wreath. So I'm just using some simple red ribbon from the Dollar Tree and a piece of twine. I just kind of did the crisscross and then tied it with the twine in the center. So not a fancy bow at all. I'm not a bow maker by any means. And we'll trim that down. And I wanted to have a good amount of length on the tails, but I wanted to kind of see what it looked like all together. So once I had the size, I'm just cutting them at an angle, and we're going to hot glue that into the center of the top of the wreath. And I'm sorry, not sure if it's going to pick up on the sound if you can hear trains. I am doing my voiceover outside. We're having a beautiful weather streak this week, and I can't help but be outside whenever possible. So if you hear that, that's what that noise is. If not, sorry for the rambling. For this next DIY, we are going to use these two ornaments from the Dollar Tree. One is a white, just a plain white ornament, and the other one is this snowman's hat. And I'm just using this little cutting knife. I was just taking off the last blade and giving myself a fresh one. And we're just going to cut a hole here to fit on top of our white ball ornament, because we're going to be making a snowman here. Little snowman head. So I was just kind of fitting it to see if it's the right size, and I needed to cut off just a little bit more. Just be careful you don't cut yourself. I'm also using this little pick tool. I think it's like a Dollar Tree version of a Cricut tool. I don't have a Cricut, but I have a lot of those tools because they're helpful in crafting. And then I just glued down some of that burlap because it had kind of come off while I was cutting the hole, and then put a bunch of hot glue there. Plus this was a pretty tight fit, and just nestled our hat on top, and we've got a little snowman head. So I start by using the end of a paintbrush to make our eyes, and my hand totally slipped, and I was like, okay. So I kept a damp paper towel nearby to clean up any messes. So we're gonna go in. Now the tip of my paintbrush. This was like the biggest one I could find, and it still wasn't big enough. I guess I could have used one of those sponge brushes with the wooden handles. That might have been big enough, but hindsight's 2020. We'll go back and fix the eyes in a second. I went ahead and did the mouth, and then I'm going in with just a tiny little detail brush, and we're just going to round out these eyes a little bit. I highly recommend getting yourself some nice small paintbrushes. Plaid has some really nice ones. Dollar Tree does too, but Plaid ones are not expensive, but they are better quality, and I highly recommend that. I feel like these little detail brushes are very helpful. You do not have to be an artist for them to come in handy. So just putting that out there. And then I'm using this little dotting tool, which turns out wasn't really necessary for the carrot, but I felt like I had more control over it than a paintbrush. But we're just going in with some orange paint, and we're just going to make our little carrot nose. You can use a paintbrush, but I will say that this dotting tool is going to come in handy here for the little whites on the snowman's eye, just using the tiny end of that, and that just really gives life to the snowman instead of it looking, I don't know, it looks a little creepy before that. I'll show you the finished ornaments at the end. So for this last one, we're going to use a terrarium planter. This is not a seasonal item, but it is in the like crafting area, and we're going to set that to the side and work on our little snowman. This is one of those little wood shapes. They come in like an 8-pack from Dollar Tree. They have the snowman, they have Christmas trees, which was the bag I was showing you. They have angels. I'm not sure what else they've had. And we're just going to paint this. Again, little tiny paintbrush comes in handy. We're just using some simple apple barrel, very budget friendly acrylic paint. We're going to paint the body white, and you'll never guess, but we painted the hat black. So yes, I went kind of typical in this. I like very traditional looking stuff when it comes to Christmas. It's just how I am, but feel free to customize these to, of course, you know, meet your preferences, your needs, your desires, your style, whatever. If you are new here, thank you so much for stopping by. I would love it if you would consider subscribing to my channel. I enjoy sharing budget-friendly DIYs, and I'd love to have you subscribe and be a part of my YouTube family. There I was just showing you kind of the dotting tool, and we're going to use this to put some buttons as well as a mouth and eyes, and we're going to use it for the carrot nose as well on this snowman. This thing is tiny, but this dotting tool makes it super easy. I also wanted to mention that if you are enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up. That helps me out so much, and let me know in the comments below, are you making any Christmas ornaments this year? I would love to hear from you. Look how stinking cute that snowman came out. Okay, moving on. Now that that's done, we're going to build ourselves this little Christmas terrarium, I guess. I got these little Christmas trees from Dollar Tree, but they do have them at other stores, plenty of other stores. If the metal piece is poking down, which is what was happening on this one, so it wasn't laying flat, you can just spin the wooden disc at the bottom until that metal piece kind of disappears. And then I wanted to give my snowman just a little bit of height that wouldn't be seen. And so I have scrap pieces of popsicle sticks because I save all of the scraps from all my things. And I'm just cutting them into little tiny pieces that will fit underneath my snowman. And then I'm going to attach them to the bottom and just layer them until I have the height I want. So just using what I have to get the look that I'm going for. So in the past, I have done some live craft and chat videos on my channel, and I'm curious if you guys are interested in this. I am thinking of doing them again this year, specifically for Christmas, that I would post ahead of time to let you know that we're going to be doing it. I'd be going live, craft with you live. We could chat. You could do crafts with me. Last year, I posted the supplies you would need ahead of time in case you wanted to actually craft those specific things with me. Of course, you can just sit and listen as well, but I put this up in my community tab to see what everyone thought about it, but I know a lot of you don't see the community tab posts. If you don't see them, you can go look for them on my channel. But anyways, let me know what you think about that, because I think that could be really fun, and yeah, so let me know your thoughts. So I started out by gluing all of the pieces down, which of course you could put anything in here. You could put absolutely anything. You could put tiny little ornaments, but I just wanted to do the tree and snowman. And then I put some hot glue and put the faux snow from, well, Dollar Tree has it, so does Hobby Lobby. But then I was having trouble getting the hot glue where I needed it to, so I went in with this craft glue. It dries clear. It's kind of like a tacky glue, but it's not that brand. I think tacky glue is a brand. I'm not sure. But, and then I'm going to brush it on. I poured the glue out because I knew my paintbrush was going to have a bunch of snow stuck to it, and I didn't want to keep putting that back in the glue bottle. And I'm just brushing this around and then just moving the snow around until it sticks to where I want it. And this took not long, but it took a little bit of time, but it was fun. And I ended up using this little hole at the top of the terrarium to get my paintbrush in the back. Once I thought of that, I was like, this is so much easier to reach those spots back there. And I ended up going up the sides of the terrarium a little bit and along the opening here as well. But of course you can just do this however you want to do it. But I really, really love how this came out. And then I did shake out the extra snow. And then I have these glitter stickers. These are from the Dollar Tree, and I wanted to cover up the hole on top of the terrarium. So I used a little bit of hot glue on the ends, even though this is a sticker, just to help it stick better since it wasn't going to be sticking on like the whole surface because it's over a hole. It doesn't totally cover it, but it very much disguises it. And I just put a few more of those all around to just make it look more purposeful and natural. And I just really love how this came out. I thought this was really cute. It was such a fun little thing. And then I just tied a piece of, I'm gluing down a little bit of the snowflake. I tied a little piece of white twine on top, and that was what I'm using for the hanger. Here is how they came out. They look a little large because this is a tiny tree. I do not have my big tree up or anything yet. So I just wanted to show you how they looked, but they look extra large since the tree is extra small. But that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.